What is up, guys? JayFerGaming here. Welcome to this last to first challenge at the Italian Grand Prix Monza circuit, and of course we'll be driving in a Ferrari, and this time I've decided to go for Sebastian Vettel. So if you are new to my channel and do want to see more F1 2017 content, then do hit that subscribe button. But I'm really looking forward to this. I know the race in real life isn't usually that great around Monza, but on the game it's so fantastic. 5 lights and it's lights out, and away we go. It's going to be difficult to make up positions at the start because it really is a narrow track. We go for the right hand side against Verline here. We've got a much better run than Alonso, but we've got absolutely nowhere to go. It gets so tight down here into turn 1 and 2. There usually is contact. We're just trying to avoid Kvyat there. We get a nudge from the left from Alonso, and we go all the way around the outside. Alonso is drifting around turn 2 there. We get ourselves up to P16, so a nice 4 positions made up in the very tricky first chicane. But now we're trying our best to catch up to the 2 Toro Rossos ahead of us. They are starting on the medium compound, so this should be pretty easy to overtake. And here we go through the second chicane and making the most of the super softs in the early stint. I feel like that's the strategy to go for, to make up as many positions as possible and hopefully close up to the 3 main protagonists at the head of the field. They're the ones who are obviously going to be racing, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can actually catch up to them up the inside of Kvyat as we enter Parabolica. One thing I want to point out is the difficulty in my Belgium last to first challenge was on 100 out of 110. This one's on 102 out of 110, just to mimic my career mode really. So we made it a little bit more tricky. I'm not sure if the Ferrari is better than the Mercedes, who knows, but we go up the inside of Sainz as well, getting rid of the cars on the mediums, because they could have been a real hindrance there, because they'd be incredibly slow on them tyres. So we're getting closer and closer to the top 10, always keeping track of the front guys on the minimap. We can see that they are really getting away, so we really have to get into P4 as quick as possible if we're going to be realistic and want to get on the podium. So we're looking to get Grosjean to Parabolica again. We get such a fantastic run through the Ascari section of the track. The downforce on this car is absolutely fantastic. I mean, in my career mode, the Toro Rosso feels pretty good, but this Ferrari just takes the downforce to another level. We're trying to get past Hulkenberg. The straight line speed isn't amazing. I don't think I actually put a setup on either. So braking into turn 1 here, trying to avoid Palmer, but Hulkenberg is still there hanging around the outside, which will give him the inside line, and we don't have enough space there. We're actually on the curb, so Hulkenberg regains the position. Battles like this are a little bit frustrating because I know we can't lose any time fighting with any of these slower guys. So we're in the slipstream. Slipstream not powerful at all, so we have to really work for the overtakes. Later on the brakes, up the inside into the chicane, down to gear 3 instead of gear 4, and we slow the car down perfectly up to P12. And now to dispatch the second Renault as soon as we can, and DRS will have been enabled now, so we do have DRS. Palmer and Magnussen going side by side through Ascari. That really isn't going to work. They're really going to hold each other up here. And yeah, they really do. So we just wait for the opportunity, and now we've got the shot of going for the double overtake as we enter Parabolica in a second. So we've got the better straight line speed, get past Palmer and Magnussen and up into P10. So we're into the point. It's only taken 3 laps, so that's a pretty decent effort to overtake half the field. Now we need to use the next few laps to put in a couple of stonkers to catch up to the back of Esteban Ocon. No doubt that'll be a more difficult challenge, as the Force India definitely has more straight line speed than the Renault and the Haas. So, come to Parabolic on the end of lap 4. We really do get a great exit from Ascari, as I mentioned before. So, through Parabolica, just look at the performance of this car. It's absolutely brilliant, so satisfying to drive. We've got the run. Ocon's actually quicker than us. We engage DRS a little bit too late. He's going to the left-hand side of Ricciardo and Stroll. We're going to the right. Ricciardo moves across. We're nearly 4 wide here, going into turn 1. Can we be the latest on the brakes? We've got the inside line. Yes, we've made a triple overtake there. Brilliant stuff there. That's exactly what we need. Up to P7. There's a couple of replays coming up because that was just brilliant racing there. Ocon, he went to the right-hand side, the left-hand side of Ricciardo, but just had nowhere to go. He was stuck behind Stroll. I keep saying stuck behind Stroll quite a lot on this game. He seems to be incredibly slow in terms of race pace. But Ricciardo moved out to the right there. You can see Ocon's got nowhere to go. Late on the brakes from Ricciardo, as you'd expect from him, but we just shove him out, being aggressive and getting the move done. But weirdly behind us there was a yellow flag in this incident. I don't know what to make of this. This is Kevin Magnussen getting attacked by Toro Rosso. It's like halfway down straight. Nah, I've had enough of this race. I am out. Psych. Now he just randomly rejoins in front of the Sauber. That was really strange, but Magnussen, as we completely mess up the second chicane there, I think the safety car is out. Magnussen started carrying on for like another 10 seconds and then just stopped. So I don't know what his game is, and yeah, it's just a really strange AI behaviour there. But it's brought out the safety car, which of course helps us very nicely because we've minimised the gap to the top 3 guys. We've just got Massa, Perez and Verstappen between us and them. So we've got a great shot of fighting them now. It depends what our pace is going to be like. Can we get a good restart? My restarts on this game hasn't been that great, but it looks like this is a brilliant restart. We've got the run on Verstappen, making the most of the rich mix we saved under the safety car period. We'll be side by side. We'll be late braking into turn 1, and Max is one of the latest to breakers. So let's see if we can get it done and avoid Perez at the same time. It's so difficult to judge. We want to be late on the brakes, but we've got to avoid the car ahead and damaging our front wing, as we do have simulation damage. I think I'll just continue having simulation damage on my channel from now on. So up to P6, we lost a bit of momentum compared to Perez, and Verstappen is actually keeping close to us, and he doesn't go for a move into this second chicane, but it shows we don't have the greatest straight line speed. Again, I didn't put a setup on, so that's probably the main factor for that. So at the end of lap 8, Perez is coming into the pits. I think that'll be his one and only pit stop going on to the mediums. That was the strategy my engineer recommended, but with the safety car period, I'm going to stretch out this super soft stint because they're really not worn that much at all. So we've got to run on the former Ferrari driver Felipe Massa, probably a favourite of the Tifosi crowd of all the drivers not in a Ferrari car. So up the inside, simple move late on the brakes to make sure he can't fight back, up to P4, and now this is where the main business picks up. We're in the position we needed to be. It's only taken 10 laps, so not too bad. How is our pace going to compare to our teammate who's in P3 and who is behind the 2 Mercedes, which you might think is a bit of a surprise? So at the end of lap 10 here, Lewis Hamilton's into the pits. He's the first one to pit out of the main guys, and might be going for the undercut here, but also I think he's going on to the mediums, so maybe the overcut could work here as Raikkonen and Bottas go into the pits at the end of lap 11. So we've got the lead now. We've got the super soft tyres, so theoretically we should have the better pace. Them 3 will all be on fresh mediums, so it's going to be interesting to see how this pans out. Can we make the overcut stick? So at the end of lap 13 we decided to come into the pits, but we're actually going to go for the soft compound. I know the other 3 have gone on to the medium, so we're going to get the initial advantage. It might hurt us at the end of the race. Not sure if these softs can actually go 14 laps, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this works out for us with a different compound, the faster compound. So we're going very aggressive. I mean, we want to win this race as Sebastian Vettel at Monza in the Tifosi. That would be absolutely perfect. So we're coming out just behind Hamilton and Raikkonen, so they're not really that far ahead thinking about it, but unfortunately Daniel Ricciardo's in the mix. He's on the super softs though, so I've got to say I think he is pitting again as we get very leery into the first chicane there. But now we just need to get rid of the Red Bull as quick as possible and then get onto the back of Hamilton and Raikkonen. It seems like Bottas is quite a bit further ahead, so yeah, we're going to have to work hard to beat the lead Mercedes in this race. So this should be a relatively easy overtake with DRS against Ricciardo. It is indeed. We're up to P6. I think there are 2 cars ahead of Hamilton who are yet to pit. Not too sure who they are at the moment, but they could come into play in terms of holding them up. So lap 16, fastest lap of the race. We're on fire now. We really are. These soft compounded tyre feel absolutely brilliant, and it's pulling us towards the cars ahead. And it's actually the 2 Toro Rossos fighting side by side, very close. It's taken a while for Bottas to get past them, and that's brought Bottas closer to us. But Kvyat and Sainz, both on the mediums, yet to pit, fighting tooth and nail for that second position, which is not going to be a genuine position, and it's meant we've got to run on Raikkonen now. Coming through Curva Grande, we've got a run. Is he going to squeeze us as we go to the right hand side by side into the chicane, trying to avoid Hamilton late on the brakes? Still side by side, we've got the inside line and we just get the better of Kimi there. Great racing, but the Toro Rossos are just causing a big traffic jam there. Hamilton's gone nowhere to go. He's just sat there waiting. We get so close to ramming into the back of Lewis, and yeah, we're so lucky to not get any contact or damage, but we've got the better of Raikkonen. Can we get the better of Hamilton as we go through the 2 Lesmos there? We're going to get DRS, but Hamilton's got a great run on Kvyat here, so you'd expect him to get the move done, even though he's going to go round the outside, and then he's going to be, yeah, he's ahead already, so that's worked out well for him coming through Ascari. We just need to sit tight behind Kvyat and get a great catapult from the section of the track. So We've already done this earlier on in the race. I think this was lap 2 where we overtook both Toro Rossos in one corner. But we're going to go for the outside because I wasn't sure if they were going to come into the pits. And based on my experience from F1 2016, the AI like to just swerve randomly to the right and jump into the pits. So Sainz isn't going in, so we're going to go for the overtake. It's actually Kvyat that goes into the pits. So can we get Sainz into turn 1 here? Oh, has he got DRS? Because he's got pretty decent straight line speed, I've got to say. We should be later on the brakes with a better car, better brakes, and just better overall performance. Up into P3, and this hasn't worked well for Kimi at all because he is stuck behind Sainz at the moment, losing so much time. We're trying our best to catch up to the back of Hamilton and making sure Bottas doesn't get that far into the distance. But Hamilton did set the fast lap of the race, and then we just break it a few seconds later. We're on fire now. You can see Raikkonen's 2.4 seconds behind us. He lost so much time. He was behind Sainz for the whole lap, and now we've got DRS on Hamilton. We are on the attack. Can we go for the move into turn 1 on lap 20 here? It looks like we're going to get closer and closer, but I don't think we have the confidence. We're probably a little bit too far back to go for the overtake. But really, if you look at Bottas, he isn't that far ahead. And, oh, Hamilton! Hamilton's got a problem there. We were so close to hitting the back of him. What's happened here? We'll have to have a look at a replay. So, I'm right behind him, putting him under pressure. And I think he's got a puncture there. We'll have to see the onboard. And it's just so unlucky for Hamilton. It's an easy position for us, and we're obviously going to have some classic Lewis Hamilton team radio. Oh no, no! We got so close to contact there. Just look at this replay, but Lewis Hamilton fans, I really hope you don't hate me because I use that team radio every time he has an issue. I want to apologise, but it wouldn't be sincere. But up to P2 now, and we're only about 3 seconds behind Bottas, so I think it is between myself and Bottas for the victory. Raikkonen does seem to be dropping back. The virtual safety car has been deployed because Hamilton is going incredibly slow. I've noticed on this game, when a car gets a puncture, they take pretty much 2 laps to get back to the pits. I mean, that's us lapping Hamilton. He's only halfway back to the pits, so that's race over for him. In terms of the actual racing, that is a bit of a shame. I would have enjoyed a battle to actually genuinely overtake Hamilton on the track, but we're getting closer and closer to Bottas now. The gap is 1.7 seconds with 5 laps to go, so we do have the pace. Going on to the softs seems to have worked for us in terms of this strategy. So we set the fastest lap of the race. Closer, 1.2 seconds. All we need is to get under that 1 second window, and we have indeed. It's now 7/10, and we've got DRS. We're just closing, so we've got 3 laps to attack Bottas for the victory. Can we win the race after starting in last place? Hamilton sent the fastest out of the race. I'm disappointed with that because that was mine before. There was a bit of contact further down the field, and oh, Sergio Perez, broken suspension, and this Toro Rosso just randomly gets stuck. I noticed that on the mini-map, so Verstappen just gives Perez a bit of a nudge here. I think Perez does lock up going into Ascari, and Verstappen takes the position. That's pretty unlucky, I've got to say. I wouldn't hold any blame to Max there. But now, through Ascari, we get such a great run. These cars through Ascari, it's just such a great feeling. There's some corners where it's so satisfying to drive these cars this season. So we've got a run going into Parabolica, but we think here we want DRS, but we also want first place. So we nab first place, and I'm pretty sure we slowed down just in time to get DRS down the start-finish straight. So with 2 laps to go, we've got the lead. Can we defend? Because we obviously know the Mercedes are fantastic in a straight line. Going on to the final lap, the gap is 7/10 of a second to Bottas. He has DRS, and he is closing every single second. But can we keep him behind for the final lap of the race and make the Tifosi go absolutely crazy in a lap's time? But Bottas, look at him, he's right behind me and on you. Just don't mess up the 2 Lesmos here. We get a bit of oversteer. I always struggle with the Lesmos when I'm under pressure. Second Lesmo, not too bad, but he's right there. I can sense him. I can see him in my mirrors. He's going to have DRS. We don't have much fuel, so we can't go up to Rich Mix. We're saving this for the entry to Parabolica. Bottas has gone for it. He's got the lead back into Ascari. Are we going to be late on the brakes? Yes, we are, side by side. Oh, we've made a bit of contact. We're out of sync here, really, and we're still side by side. We've got a slightly better run than Bottas, so are we going to use the Rich Mix? Yes, we are. That's what we were saving it for. And contact on this straight. We're trying to defend our lead. Can we be later on the brakes into Parabolica? Yes, we can. We swipe across Bottas. And this final lap drama is going to result in Sebastian Vettel winning the 2017 Italian Grand Prix.
P1, Sebastian. P1. What a race. You were the quickest. You were the quickest.
Yes, guys. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
How did they accomplish this result?
Here come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling Grand Prix. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top three today.
Oh wow, what drama there at the end of that race. If the real life race is anything like that, then it's absolutely going to be incredible. Hopefully we have a result like that. A 1-3 for Ferrari would be absolutely fantastic. So that's the order. Quite a mixed board in terms of the mid-pack. Red Bull didn't perform at all. We've got Ocon there, Grosjean 5th, Stroll 6th. And we can see at the bottom, Lewis Hamilton ended up 2 laps down with that puncture. So, if you have enjoyed this last to first challenge, please do leave a like, subscribe. If you haven't already, to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the Italian Grand Prix. And I'll catch you next time out. Goodbye.